Melissa, did you lock the door?
Of course I locked the door.
Are you sure? Because you never locked that thing.
Jesus Christ, Jed. I locked the goddamn door.
Melissa, you are in no position to take that tone with me right now, okay?
What are you, my mother?
Oh, don't start with that. Jesus Christ. You still have that thing?
You just told me to run.
Well, what possessed you to pick it up in the first place, huh?
Did you see the way that Lenny guy was looking at me?
Melissa, it's their bat, okay? You don't touch other people's things.
That's not important, Jed. Did you hear the things he was saying to me?
It's a compliment, Melissa, okay? You're misinterpreting it. That's how people like Lenny talk. Okay?
I don't care who he is. No one's gonna talk to me like that. I'm a dignified woman.
That's really great, Melissa, and I appreciate that, okay? I really do. But if you could put that bat away before someone shows up here asking questions, that would be really nice, okay?
Well, what if they show up?
Then I will handle it, Melissa. But for the time being, can you please put the bat in the other room, okay?
I hope you're happy.
No, Melissa. To be perfectly honest with you, no. I am not very happy, okay?
You're a piece of shit, you know that?
I don't need you projecting yourself onto me right now, okay?
Yeah?
Yeah. Jesus, Melissa, what are we gonna do?
I don't know.
Don't give me the I don't know bullshit, all right?
Well, what do you want me to say?
I don't want you to say anything. It would be nice, though, if you contributed to the conversation instead of just saying I don't know. Maybe help me find a solution to this mess you got us into, all right?
The mess I got us into?
Yes.
So now it's my fault?
Yes, Melissa, it is your fault.
Let me remind you that it was your idea to go see this guy anyway.
Well, everything was going just fine, Melissa, until you started swinging a bat around, all right?
It's real nice, Jed. Very gentlemanly.
Oh, yeah?
I'll tell you this. I have a bit of a temper. And at this point with Lenny, I'm usually like around here, but I was up to here. I had just had it with this creep. So I grabbed the first thing that I could get my hands on, which was a baseball bat, and I cracked him over the head. And Jed just like freaks out. And I'm like, what did I do wrong? I had to take care of this sleazeball who's coming after me, and you're not doing anything about it. So, I'm gonna cut out my hair because I look super gross.
I don't really need this right now, okay?
Oh, you don't need this.
No, I don't.
You don't need this. You know what I don't need?
What?
This.
Yeah?
What do I have to do tonight?
What do you have to do, huh?
I have a paper.
Oh, a paper?
Yeah, a 5-page paper.
A 5-page paper, Melissa?
Yeah, for my creative writing course.
Oh, stop the presses, everybody. Melissa has a 5-page paper for her creative writing class, no less. Oh, I'm so sorry, Melissa. I was not aware of the 5-page paper. Well, maybe tonight when you're writing, you can think about tonight's little incident. Think about how you ruined what would have been a beautiful business opportunity for the both of us. Yeah. And the icing on the cake, how could you forget, Melissa? How you knocked out one of the most influential men in the entire city, all right? Honestly, Melissa, I don't really know what else you could have done to make this any worse. You understand that?
Yeah.
Yeah, why don't you just leave me alone? Because I honestly want to take a shower. That's all I want to do right now. Because I'm done. I'm done. Why don't you write your paper, all right?
Whatever. I'm gonna take a nap.
Yeah, you do that. Me and Melissa, we were screaming and fighting, and I was upset, because we really, but to be frank, we really needed the money, and anyway. So I say I want to take a shower, right? So, take my jacket off, I loosen my tie, whatever. I go over to the shower stall, and I open it up, and there's, Melissa?
What?
Can you come in here for a second?
Why?
Can you please just come in here?
What do you want?
What's the meaning of this?
What's the meaning of what?
Come over here.
I don't want to look in the shower.
Come over here, Melissa.
Oh my god. And Jed's like in hysterics. He's like, oh my god, he's dead. What are we gonna do? And I'm like, Jed, calm down. We have to deal with this like rational adults. Sir, are you okay?
Melissa.
Are you okay? Jed, call an ambulance.
Melissa?
I don't think he's breathing.
Really?
Sir, are you okay?
Melissa? And I asked her, do you know who this man is in our shower? And she said, no. And I'm like, what do you mean no? And we were fighting about that for a while, and that's really as simple as it was.
And he was like, oh my gosh, should we like call the cops? Are we like gonna do this? I'm like, no.
Melissa, we can't call the cops. Are you kidding me?
Well, no, if we call them, then they'll think we haven't done anything wrong.
Melissa, Lenny owns the cops. Don't you understand that? They're probably paroling around right now looking for you after what you did.
Well, what if it's one of the good ones?
Even if it was one of the good ones, then what were we gonna tell him, huh? What's our alibi?
Fine. So what are we gonna do?
Let me think, okay? Let's just be quiet for a second and let me think.
And so, I mean, I just had to take things into my... You know what? I feel so disgusting. Do you mind? I'm just gonna... So, I mean, I have to do this all the time, you know? Like, clean up Jed's messes. Like, oh my God. And he's just being such a baby about it. It's like, it's just one dude. And I just can't deal with all of your problems, you know?
Wait a minute. So just bear with me for a second, right? What if we just keep him here? What if we pretend that he's like our grandfather or something? And it's part of our religion. We keep him in the house.
What about the smell?
What do you mean?
When he starts to, you know, get smelly.
We'll buy the what do you call it?
Febreze?
Yeah, the Febreze. We'll buy the Febreze. And we'll spray it around every so often, and in like a month we'll bury him. He looks pretty
Good.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd say. He's a little dead.
I mean, he is dead.
He is dead, and we'll tell people that.
Yeah, so it's fine.
It's not a big deal because they know. Yeah. The one thing I'm a little worried about is you know, someone definitely killed him.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm just worried about them, you know,
Coming back?
coming back.
Yeah.
That's what I'm worried about, is them coming back.
I mean, if they left him in our shower, I mean, then maybe they want him to be here, so, I mean, they'd be more upset if we did something with him.
See, Melissa, that doesn't make all that much sense. But I think the point is that we, you know, he's fine.
It's fine.
He's fine.
It's fine.
Okay. Good.
Well, you know, now I have time to write my paper.
Jesus Christ, with the paper, Melissa. Again with the paper. Is that
You know,
all you think
it's
about?
a thing I have to do
The
tonight.
paper?
It's a thing
oh.
that...
Jesus Christ, is that Lenny?
Go answer it.
No, you go answer it.
What if it's the murderer?
What if it's the murderer? Just go answer the door.
I don't want to answer it.
I don't want to
to
answer.
Do you want me to go down there and get killed? Is that what you want?
Fine, I'll go answer it. But can you get your mind off the creative writing thing for a little bit? Because I think it's starting to take over your life. And I don't know what's going on. You know, I'm very nervous because I'm like, you know, who is it? Is it Lenny? Is it the murderer? I don't know. So I walk down there. Melissa makes me go down. I open the door, and it's this girl, Janet. She said we had spoken on the phone, but I talked to a lot of people on the phone, and I didn't remember her. So she said that we did, and apparently she's renting out the old apartment downstairs. It used to belong to this woman, Deborah. So she wants to come in. I'm like, I don't want to. She wants to ask me a question. I'm like, okay, fine.
Hi, I'm Melissa. You must be Janet.
Janet. Oh, I see you've noticed our grandfather. Unfortunately, he's recently passed.
I noticed there was this strange man sitting at their kitchen table. Melissa told me that he was their grandfather.
I'm so sorry. Why is he in your kitchen?
It's part of our religion. When a relative dies, we keep them in the house for about a month.
What religion?
Catholic, like, progressive.
It's a combination.
I really have some things to unpack.
You had a question.
fine.
You had a question. Here, sit down.
Stay.
We were just about to have a snack. Really, Melissa, put on those Smuckers. Okay, now sit down, please.
Jen and Melissa seemed a little uncomfortable, but they invited me to stay anyways.
So, Janet, where are you from?
Ohio?
Oh.
Yeah.
So, how come you moved up here?
You know, just wanted to get away from it all.
You know when people say that, I know exactly what they mean. Yeah, when someone says they want to get away from it all, it is usually one of three things. But looking at you, I'd say it was your father. Oh, sorry, I don't mean to pry. I just don't see why these things need to be secret, that's all.
Yeah, I guess.
Take my grandfather, for example. Sure, I loved him, but the man was a jerk. He used to beat my mother.
That's awful.
And then he beat me too.
And then Melissa started talking about how her grandfather used to beat her mother, and it was a very uncomfortable situation for me. But I stayed anyways, because, I just moved in, I don't know anyone. So...
Melissa,
Yeah?
why don't you take Janet on a tour of the apartment?
Sure, you just gotta look beyond the mess. You know, I went to school for interior design.
Really?
Yeah, Grandpa put me through it. He said I had a flair for it.
That's nice of him.
Yeah, he's a nice guy sometimes. So this is the main hallway. I was kind of going for a modern Victorian, so I painted the walls a fuchsia gray.
Interesting.
Yeah. Honestly, though, it's kind of a work in progress. It's in no condition to be shown. You know, I dropped out of school for interior design.
Oh.
Yeah. It wasn't really my forte. I think my true calling, though, is a creative writing. I'm taking a new course, and oh my god, it's wonderful. The teacher is just amazing. We have to write a 6-page paper on a personal narrative.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
What are you writing on?
I just told you. Aw, Jed, are you talking to Grandpa?
No, Melissa, I'm not talking to Grandpa. You know, I'm up to here at this point. And Janet comes back saying something about design school. In the time that Melissa has gone from the table to the hallway and back, she has woven some scheme about interior design school. So I don't know what to do. I go along with it. I say, yeah, she was the best in her class. And you know, flying colors, whatever, you know, and the teacher, you know, wrote her a letter. I don't know what I'm saying, you know, because I'm confused. You know, I'm sitting next to a dead guy. You know what kind of night I had? And then I, of course, say the wrong thing because something clicks with Janet, and she has to use the bathroom. What was all that about? Huh? She's acting all weird. Did you say something to her?
I told her I dropped out of interior design school.
Now why? Why on earth would you make up a story about going to a pretend college for something you've only been mildly interested in, and then saying you dropped out? It doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know how she works. Her mind. Melissa, why why did you tell her that you went to interior design school in the first place, huh?
God damn it, Jed. You know I've always wanted to go.
God damn it, Jed. God damn it, Jed. Yeah, can we think about that for a second? Because I'm not the one talking about how beating grandfathers and fuchsia gray and I. Alyssa, I thought we were playing cool. What's the deal with this, huh? What she calls the cops?
Do you think she's suspicious?
Nobody move!
Janet, what are you doing?
What am I doing? What am I doing? You two are obviously a pair of crazy people.
What?
No.
Of course not.
No.
Yes, I mean, look, you can't even get your story straight about this interior design school. I mean, look at this dump. I mean, you could have said anything but design school, and I would have believed you. Come on!
Listen, Janet.
Did you listen, Jan and me? You two were obviously going to kill me, weren't you?
What?
No.
Of course not.
Yeah, I bet that's what you do. You invite unsuspecting individuals into your home, and then you kill them just like you killed this guy. I mean, I've seen the movies, those horror movies. I know what happens next.
Stop it. Right now. Janet, I don't know who you think you are, but you cannot come into my home swinging a bat around and talking about my father like that.
Did you just say your father? I thought he was your grandfather.
That's because he is my father and my mother's father. My mother had me when she was very young, and they decided that it would be best if I thought he was my grandfather. It wasn't until I was older that they told me.
I don't know what to say.
I know it must seem very strange for you, but you have to understand. This is our family.
I understand. It's just, I thought you were gonna kill me.
Believe me, you are not the first person to think that.
You know that baseball bat over there?
Yeah.
Melissa's grandfather gave me that baseball bat when I first met her. He said that in the city, when he was growing up, if you had a baseball bat, you had two things. You had protection and a reason for people to like you. And he told me, he said, that's all you need in life, is protection and a reason for people to like you.
That's really cool.
Yeah, you know, he had his imperfections, but he was a nice guy somewhere.
You know, Melissa was right. Why I wanted to leave Ohio. My father was really controlling, and I spent a lot of time listening to what he had to say and not listening to myself. So what time is it?
Oh, it's 10 o'clock.
Hey, why don't you come over for dinner sometime? We'll have a proper getting to know you.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah.
How's Saturday?
That's fine. Yeah, that should work.
Yeah, at 7 o'clock, is that alright?
Sounds good.
All right, bring a dish.
Hi. It's Janet. Yeah, No. Just put Mom on the phone, please. Can you just go get her, please? No, I'm not coming back for a while. Just... Please, go get Mom. I hang up the phone and I hear a weird noise. I get up and I go to my door. I looked out. There was nothing in the hallway, and I turn around. There's this weird kid sitting on my bed, and that was Henry. What are you doing in my apartment?
Oh, I'm just saying hello.
How did you get in here?
Oh, you left the door open.
Where are your parents?
Oh, they're out. I think they went to see a movie.
Okay.
I tried to come by earlier, but I guess you weren't here.
Yeah, no, I was visiting Jen and Melissa.
Oh, I see. You know, it's weird being in here without anything. You ever do that? You ever go into a neighbor's house when they move out? You look around. It always seems so much bigger.
Do you know who used to live here before me?
Yeah, her name was Deborah E. Baker. It was funny because her name was Deborah and her initials spelled Deb.
Why'd you move out? What happened?
Oh, a bowling ball fell on her foot. She moved in with her mother after the hospital bills got too high.
Oh.
So what do you think of them?
Who?
Jen and Melissa.
Oh, they're nice. They actually... They invited me to dinner.
Well, that should be fun.
Yeah. And this whole time, I'm thinking, what are you doing in my apartment? So I told him to leave, and that was that.
Well, anyway, it was nice meeting you.
Yeah, you too. Oh, hey. Yeah, I'm good. How are you? Good. Yeah, I have work the rest of the week. Oh, no, I can't do dinner. Yeah. Well,
How's Saturday?
that's fine. Yeah, that should work.
Yeah, at 7 o'clock. Is that all right?
I'm having dinner with my grandfather. Yeah. Sorry about that. Another time, though, would be great. I'd love to just do something another day. Yeah, I have a grandfather. Okay, well, that sounds good. All right. Bye.
Oh, Heavenly Father, thank you for this bountiful feast which we are about to enjoy.
Don't forget Grandpa.
Of course, dear. And bless the soul of Melissa's grandfather. May he rest in peace.
Amen. Let's eat.
Everything looks so lovely.
Thank you. What do you think, Jed?
Oh, it's fine, Melissa.
Really?
Yes.
Thanks. You know it's my grandfather's favorite dish.
Really?
Yeah. Do you remember when we went to my grandmother's house?
Sure.
How does it compare?
It's fine.
So first day in town, how was it?
Good. I started my new job.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah.
Is it too boring you, Jed?
Melissa, it's fine, okay?
You know what it is? He's such a freak about eating.
Really?
Yeah, it's such a pain in the ass. Every meal, He has to count his calories and compare this ratio to that ratio. It's all too sciencey for me.
Melissa, there is nothing wrong with optimizing a diet, okay? I'm simply trying my best to be healthy.
You should see the charts he has.
Melissa, will you leave my charts alone?
Just ignore him. So you got a new job. That's exciting. Anything else?
Yeah, I met this guy.
Jed, are you sure it's not too whiny?
Melissa, it is fine, okay? Will you leave it alone? Here, listen to Janet, all right? Well, this guy you met, what was his name?
Michael.
Michael, that's a smart sounding name.
Yeah, he's.
If it's too whiny, Jed, just tell me and I'll make you something else.
I don't want something else. This is fine.
You want me to make you something else? Here, let me make
Melissa,
you something else.
focus on your own food, all right? Here, Janet, tell us more about Michael.
Okay, well, he.
If it's too whiny, tell me. Here, I'll make you some Smuckers.
I don't want the Smuckers, Melissa. I want to eat my food, okay?
It's easy. I just put them in the toaster.
I know how you make the Smuckers, Melissa. I don't want the Smuckers right now, okay? I just want to eat my dinner. So we make it through dinner. And all I can think about is what we're going to do with this body that's sitting in my dining room. It's starting to smell, for one thing, and I'm trying to combat that with the Febreze that I am purchasing. But I don't know. It just it doesn't seem to be doing all that good. And Melissa's talking about something I don't even know. And then she knocks over one of my bottles. Melissa, will you be careful with that?
What, bottles?
They're not just bottles, Melissa, okay? They're antiques.
These aren't antiques. They're garbage. You bought them yesterday.
Melissa, they're not antiques right now, but you save them, you take care of them, and one day they will be worth a lot of money, all right?
You bought that for like 50 cents at the supermarket.
Melissa, it was not 50 cents, okay? It was $1.75 for that bottle.
You spent $1.75 on that?
I care a lot about my bottles. I care a lot about investments that I make, and my bottles, and that's one of the investments that I've made. And Melissa doesn't really respect that, and that gets me upset. I know I'm going on a tangent a little bit, but I feel like it needs to be said. Okay, it's an economic term. All right, do you know economic terms?
I'm throwing these away, Jed.
No, you are not. Okay, because they are my bottles. You're not throwing them away.
You have a problem.
Oh, that's really funny, Melissa. I have a problem. I have a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're the one with the problem. You know that?
What is that supposed to mean?
Nothing.
No, do you know what? Tell me. I want to know.
Melissa, you're aware that man is not your grandfather, right? Why no? Because you're making up all these bizarre stories and all these things and about this man who is dead. This dead man. You're projecting yourself onto this dead man. And I honestly believe, Melissa, that it And I honestly, I'm starting to believe that, I don't know, is something wrong with her? It makes me worry, because, I care about her.
I thought you didn't want to arouse suspicion.
You know what I don't want?
What, Jed? Enlighten me.
I don't want some serial killer showing back up here and wondering why there are two individuals living in his dumping spot. Okay?
What are you talking about?
The killer always returns to the scene of the crime. That's like rule number 1.
Oh, yeah? What's rule number 2?
I don't know, Melissa. And honestly, I don't want to find out.
What are you saying?
I'm saying I think it would be a little better to try and figure out who killed this guy instead of trying to make people believe that he's our grandfather. Okay?
May I remind you, it was your idea to do this in the first place? I'm just doing what you said. And honestly, I'm doing it better than you are.
Yeah, well, you know what? I changed my mind.
Oh, so you can just change the plan whenever you feel like it?
Well, you're not coming up with any better ideas, all right?
Maybe that's because I like the plan we have.
Well, what does it matter to you if we change the plan around? Why do you care?
Why do you care?
Because, Melissa, I think it's far better to focus our attention on important things, like finding out who killed someone in our apartment, okay?
I guess.
Just makes a little bit more sense to me, that's all.
we just live with Grandpa for the rest of the month, and then we'll have a nice burial. It'll all be fine.
Yeah, I guess.
I just don't see why we need to go investigating and all. We're just asking for trouble.
Yeah, you're right.
I'll find a place for your dumb bottles.
I did.
That's wonderful.
So, how was your dinner with your grandfather?
Excuse me?
Your grandfather. When I called you, you said that you were having dinner with him.
Oh yeah, that was fine.
You're not lying to me, right? You didn't just ditch me and go on a date with some other handsome guy.
No, of course not. My brain just froze.
Alright, well, how was it?
It was fine. Yeah.
That's great. Tell me about it.
Well, he's kind of a strange guy. He was in the armed forces.
Oh, I've always been fascinated about men in the armed forces.
Really?
Yeah. You know, I'm actually reading this book. It's a collection of vignettes about, leukemia, but it's called Marmalade on Sundays by Shaquisha O'Neal, and it's really fascinating.
Oh, cool. That's cool.
And Shaquisha, she always manages to take what someone could say in only 3 pages, but stretch it out to be more like 300. It's really fantastic. I
Wow.
mean, the language is just unparalleled. It's really great.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So. Yeah, the armed forces. I've always been really interested.
Yeah, he's a cool guy. This is unbelievable. What are you doing in here?
I was bored.
You can't just barge into my room like this.
I didn't barge in anywhere. You left the door unlocked.
Are your parents home?
No.
Look, I'd appreciate it if you left.
Listen, Jana, I came over here to tell you something.
What?
It's about Jed and Melissa. They're not who you think they are. You can't trust them.
What do you mean?
Go up there now, see what I mean. I bet the door's unlocked. Jed always gets mad at Melissa for that.
Look, can you just not come back here when I'm not here, please?
Of course, Janet. It's always nice to talk to you.
Jen, it's Janet. I just have a few questions. Hello?
Janet?
Oh, hi, Jen.
So I decided to take a nap. Melissa convinced me to let her go shopping. She's out of the house. I'm gonna relax. So I'm about to close my eyes when I hear someone walking up the steps. And my first thought in my head is, it's the murderer. Of course. Turning to the scene of the crime, thinks no one's out of the house, probably watching, and he saw Melissa leave. But who is it?
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to barge in like this. I saw the door was unlocked. I just had a question.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay. If I did not answer, then you ask later. Well, what can I help you with?
I saw your typewriter. Are you a writer?
Oh, no, that's Melissa. It's her new thing. Melissa goes through these phases. Like, she wanted to be a chef. I don't know. She was into interior design, psychology, and now creative writing. She thinks she's a writer, and she purchases this typewriter, and she hasn't used it since. It was a decent chunk of change, too. So it was, I don't know. It's a sore spot. I don't bring it up. So, what can I help you with, Miss Janet?
It's actually about this kid downstairs, my neighbor. His name is Henry.
Oh my God. Are you kidding me? Janet? I want you to listen to me very carefully, okay? That kid Henry is a lying piece of shit. You understand that? And he will manipulate you for the fun of it. You know that woman Deborah?
Yeah.
She lived in your apartment
Yeah,
before?
yes.
Okay. He convinced her that her cat was trying to kill her. She went insane. She had to go live with her mother.
No, but he told me that she dropped a bowling ball on her foot and the hospital bills were too high.
And I told her very carefully that little bastard is not to be trusted. And if you talk to him, just remember, he is manipulative. And he lies for the fun of it. It's all some bizarre game to him, okay? You heard it from me first. For your own safety. And I told her this, too, like I'm telling you. Do not trust him. Please. I'm glad you told me.
Yeah. I should get going now. Thanks,
Yeah,
Dad.
yeah, of course. Janet.
Mhm.
If you have any questions, please ask me, though. Don't talk to him.
Yeah. Hello? Mom, everything is fine. What are you talking about? What do you mean he left a few days ago? No, everything is fine. He hasn't shown up yet. No! Oh my God, I'm getting off the phone. No!
Is this what you called me about?
Yep,
And you have sufficient funds?
of course.
Because it's a risk, me helping you. I heard what your wife did to Lenny.
Yeah, I know. So if we could make this quick, it'd be nice.
Of course.
Thank you.
It's a Smith & Wesson 44 Magnum. Where did you find it exactly?
I remember I could not sleep that night. Because, with everything going on, I don't know. So I go into the kitchen. And this corpse is beginning to smell even worse. And I'm just trying to ignore it. But I see something on the ground. I look. And it's all like underneath the counter. It's this gun. This big gun. It's not mine, it's not Melissa's. I think, anyway. So I click. It's the murder weapon.
Had it been fired recently?
Can you tell that?
Of course I can tell you that. I can also tell you that you don't want to give me any information. Something I can't exactly blame you for, Mr. Jed. But I need something to go off on.
Fine. There was a murder in our apartment the other night. Melissa and I came home and found the guy dead in our shower. Found the gun under the cabinet the next night.
And that's when you called me.
That's when I called you.
Did you know the victim?
No, I've never seen him before in my life.
Do you have any idea who could have killed him?
No. It's want to find out whoever he was before he comes back.
Fair enough. But how do you know they will come back?
Because if you think about it, every picture, every book you read, there's always one rule. The killer always returns to the scene of the crime.
I see.
All right, well, tell me then, what exactly do you see?
I see that it was a fully loaded gun. Only one bullet was fired, which is strange.
What do you mean?
Well, if it was a hitman, you would usually see 2 bullets missing. One rarely fires only 1 bullet. If you're going to kill someone, you want to make sure they're dead. The killer would have to be so confident in his ability that he knew only 1 bullet would do the job. But that raises more questions. If he knew he would only need 1 bullet, then why did he bring a gun loaded with 6? Furthermore, why would this killer drop the gun at the scene of the crime?
What are you trying to say?
Either your killer is an idiot who got lucky, or you're dealing with a very intelligent assassin, Mr. Jed. My guess is he wanted you to find the gun, make you believe the killer was someone other than himself.
Well, we did it, Grandpa. Jed wanted me to buy this Febreze because you're so smelly. I don't know if it really works though. I wonder where he is, Jed. He always just disappears like this. Never tells me where he's going. But I have to stay here, of course. Because, Melissa, if you go outside, someone will see you. Lenny, blah, blah, blah. You know, he kind of reminds me of my father. He used to leave just all the time, my father. Just for days. We didn't know where he went. I mean, it was scary at first, but we kind of got over it. My mother. You know, I kind of wish you really were my father or grandfather, whatever. Because I have a lot of things I need to say to him. I left home at a young age, so there's a lot of stuff never figured out, you know. Does that make any sense? Of course it does. You know what I would tell him? After all those nights, after all the times he left, all the times he had the nerve to come back, how he treated me, what he did to my mother, the things he made me do. After all that, I would say to him, just so he would know, I love you, Daddy. I don't want you to go away.
How are you, Jed?
Shut up.
Come on, Jed. Stop it.
Stop what? Where's this goddamn key?
Listen, Jed, is it about Janet? Listen, I was just talking to her.
Oh yeah? What about Deborah, huh? Were you just talking to her too?
I didn't do anything to her, and you know that.
Sure.
Listen, Jed, I really like you. I think you're a smart guy.
Oh, I'm flattered, Henry.
No, really, though. That's why I want to tell you something that you should probably know.
What?
It's about Melissa.
What about Melissa?
Well, while you're running around playing detective, your wife is talking to the dead body in your apartment.
Oh, and how could you possibly know that, huh?
I have my ways, Jed. Anyway, I would talk to her.
Oh, okay, I'll do that.
Oh, and one more thing before you go, Jed.
What?
If you need any help finding the killer, I'd be happy to help. It sounds fun.
Okay, well, I'll be sure to contact you.
What do you want to do today?
Anything you want. What?
Oh, nothing. It's just, well, I'm not usually the one to make decisions. But not with you. It's just, I'm happy you want to do what I want to do.
Of course.
I think that's why I keep you around.
Melissa, are you up here? Oh, Jesus Christ, it smells awful in here.
Oh, hey, Jed.
Have you been spraying the Febreze?
So, do we have a verdict? What would you like to do?
Honestly, Michael, I just want to sit here and talk.
Then sit here and talk we shall.
You can't smell anything. I think these fumes are starting to mess with your head. That's what I think.
So, did he leave yet?
Excuse me?
No, I'm fine, really.
Melissa, this is not fine. We are getting rid of this body tonight.
Your grandfather, wasn't he visiting you when you had dinner with him? Or were you just visiting him?
Oh,
What do you mean, no? It's smelling up the whole apartment. I cannot breathe.
that was a while ago.
It's only been 3 days, Janet.
Him.
What did you just say?
You said it. Grandpa is him.
Right, well, the thing is, no one was visiting anyone anyways. I actually live with my grandfather.
This thing is neither him or her at this point. Understand that?
I lived with him practically my whole life.
It is simply a pile of dead organisms that just so happen to be wrapped up in one dead organism.
Fascinating. Now I have to meet him. You could have me over for dinner sometime.
Well, it doesn't mean we can't honor the dead. This poor guy was killed in our apartment. If you were dead, what would you think being treated like garbage?
Of course. I mean, you see, my grandfather, he's...
Dead. And when you are dead, you do not think, okay?
It's hard to keep track of him in his old age.
You're unbelievable.
Well, actually, that reminds me of a poem I wrote once.
I'm unbelievable.
Really? I didn't know you wrote poetry.
I'm unbelievable? Will you look at yourself in the mirror?
Janet, the soul of the artist is fed only with stanza and verse.
Oh.
This whole apartment, this whole thing is ridiculous, and I don't know why I'm appeasing you.
Yes, the poem is called In and Out.
I ask you to spray the Febreze. You don't spray the Febreze. You sit here staring at this thing.
It's about a man who gets on one bus, rides it to the next stop, gets off the bus, and then gets on the next one.
This is my apartment too, Melissa. You understand that?
Is that all he does?
And I have to live here.
That's all he does. Well, the whole thing is really just a metaphor for the Cuban Missile Crisis. The main character, Old Man Jack, is torn between war and family, but he's still strong and intelligent.
That sounds like him.
Please, Janet, fuel my curiosity. Tell me more about your grandfather.
Oh, there isn't much to know. He's a very quiet man.
Strong and immovable. I love it.
He's not the tallest man either.
Loudmouthed and feisty, I'm sure, letting the world know he won't be pushed around.
Do we have to talk about my grandfather?
Of course not. Excuse my fascination. What can I say? An artist never sleeps.
You sick bastard. How come you always leave? Why'd you have to come back? I love you, Daddy. Who is it?
Janet!
Oh, hi, Janet. Oh, God. Are you okay?
What does that smell?
I don't smell anything.
I have a question. Just, can you come down to my apartment?
Yeah, sure.
Henry, why are we in your closet?
I think I'm being watched.
Oh, really? By who?
I don't know what to do. I mean, it was a stupid thing to say.
That is of no concern to you, Jed. The point is I can't be seen talking to anyone.
And I told him I was having dinner with my grandfather, and all he talks about now is wanting to meet him. And
Oh, really? Henry, is this one of your little games again, or are you being serious?
That information is confidential.
Oh, God.
I really like him and all. He invited me over the same night you and Jed had, and
Is there something wrong, Jed? You seem a little frazzled.
I'm not frazzled, Henry, okay? I came here to ask you a favor.
so I lied, and I couldn't tell him that I was having dinner with my two neighbors and their dead grandfather. I mean,
What is it, Jed?
I told him that I was having dinner with my own grandfather. I don't even have a grandfather.
I want to take you up on your offer. My God. I can't believe I'm saying this, but,
And my mother, she keeps calling, and and the one time I leave,
Who?
my father.
will you help me find whoever killed that guy in our apartment?
Sure, Jed.
Thank you.
And there's this really strange boy who lives, he lives below me. I think his name is Henry.
Wait. How did you know that guy was killed and not really Melissa's grandfather?
He told me this story about some lady who used to live here with a bowling ball, and I told Jed the story, and Jed told me he was lying, and it just was so weird.
Oh, you just have to ignore Jed with stuff with Henry. They're brothers. They like to fight.
Brothers?
I have my ways, Jed. Besides, don't you think I'd know if you and Melissa really believed in some weird religion?
Oh, you didn't know that? Yeah. Henry and Jed are brothers.
I guess. You have to stop spying on people, though, okay? It's not very becoming.
And they just, I don't know what Jed has against him, but I don't know, you just have to take it with a grain of salt.
This is nice. We're bonding.
Shut up.
I guess I best go.
As I was saying, Jed, I know this woman, and she knows everyone and everything in this town. I think she'll probably know who this guy is, if he worked for anyone. Do you have a picture of him?
No, believe it or not, Henry, I do not have a picture of the dead guy in my apartment.
Jed, you can leave the sass at home, but how about you take a picture of him and we'll get going? Jed, are you listening to me?
You and I think, Henry?
What?
I think you already know who killed that guy.
Excuse me?
Yeah, I think you know who killed him, and this is just sort of some bizarre game you like to play because you want to watch me figure it out. You think it's fun.
Let me assure you, Jed, I'm just as in the dark as you are. I want to figure it out too.
All right, I guess I have no choice if you're not going to tell me then.
I'm just kidding you. Of course I tried to kill my husband. Who hasn't? But I wasn't the one who poisoned him. Now let's talk. This man. Do you have a photograph? No, I never saw this man before in my life.
Are you sure?
Whoever he is, sweetheart. He didn't work for anyone around here. Maybe he was just passing through. Like a mailman without the uniform. Or a truck driver.
Well, thanks for seeing us.
Goodbye, Henry. Don't be a stranger. Let's have tea sometime. It's been too long. Ugh.
Hey, Janet.
Jesus, what did I say about coming into my house?
You said not to come by when you were out of the house. You're here. What's wrong, Janet?
Why did you come down here?
I don't know. I thought we could hang out.
Why did you lie about Deborah?
So Jed told you?
Oh, and Melissa told me you're brothers too?
Yes, we are.
Unbelievable! You know, Jed told me everything.
Janet, I don't think you understand the full story.
What? What, are you gonna do the same thing to me?
Janet, you don't understand.
Well then please, enlighten me. Or is that your plan? To talk to me until I go insane? Is that what you do? I bet Deborah wasn't the first either. I bet I'm just one in a long line of people you've made go crazy. I get it, Henry. I've seen those movies. I know how the whole thing plays out.
Janet, stop! Deborah is my sister. Please listen to me, Janet. Deb always had a little something wrong with her. And well, Jed said it was my job to feed the cat because he had to be out. And well, one day she really snapped. That was it. But ever since then, Jed thought I provoked it.
So I feel like you know so much about me, but I don't really know that much about you.
Oh, really?
Yeah, where do you work?
I mostly do freelance, but I spend most of my time with my band.
Oh, really? What instrument do you play?
Electric piano.
Isn't that the same as regular piano?
Maybe to the untrained novice.
What type of music do you guys play?
Jazz mostly, but we switch it up depending on the venue.
I'd like to come see you guys play.
Well, I have a gig at the Hungry Traveler on Tuesday at 2:30. You should totally stop by.
Oh, can you save me a seat?
Well, it's very exclusive. Admittance is $35.
Oh. Henry?
There's something I need to ask you.
What?
Do you trust Jed?
I guess, sure.
Don't. Janet, I wasn't gonna spill the beans on this, but I need to tell you something about Melissa's grandfather.
The dead one?
Precisely.
What about him?
This might be confusing, but I need you to trust me, okay?
Sure.
That man down there is not Melissa's grandfather.
How do you know?
I heard them talking about it.
Wait. Then why?
I don't know. I was out. But I do know that that man was in their shower when they got home that evening you came by. You see, they just had a falling out with this guy named Lenny.
Who's Lenny?
He was a potential business opportunity for Jed and Melissa, but things didn't go as planned, so they ran home.
And that's when they found the body?
That's correct. You see, Janet, they didn't want to arouse suspicion. They figured they would dress up the body and keep it there until things died down.
That was a stupid idea.
In retrospect, yes, it was. But in the heat of the moment, it definitely made a lot of sense to them.
Didn't they know it would start to smell?
Like I said, it wasn't the best decision. I think the fumes are even starting to affect Melissa's brain. You know, she's even starting to think that guy's her father.
Why are you telling me all of this?
Because, Janet, I fear for your life.
What do you mean?
Janet, do you know why we moved here? Why Jed took Deborah and me and stuck us in this crappy apartment building? I was very young. It was 3 years ago, but I remember something being wrong. Jed told me to pack a bag and he put both of us in his car.
Where were your parents?
We never knew who our father was, and my mother suffered from the same mental illness that plagued my sister. Jed was the one who took care of us. He worked every day and made sure we went to school. Of course, he would get angry sometimes, but, well, you know how things like that are. Right, Janet? Anyway, one day he came home in a hurry and told us we had to leave. He wouldn't tell us why, but I remember we left almost everything in the house. We drove to the city, and Jed bought this place. He married Melissa 5 months later. He was home less and less. Started hanging around with some bad people. Well, either he started to, or I just started to notice. The point is, Janet, Jed isn't who you think he is. I want you to be... Wait. Janet.
Yeah?
Did you hear that? Janet, you have to listen to me very carefully. There's a good chance that Jed just heard every word I just said. You have to be careful. I think he's killed before, and I think that dead man in their apartment is proof that he's killed again.
Wait, you think he killed that man?
Janet, you have to stay with me here. There isn't much time. He will invite you to dinner. Say yes.
Why?
Just trust me. When you're faced with someone like Jed, you have to go to him. He will suspect you know nothing that way. It will give you the upper hand. Use that moment to strike.
Okay.
Now what you're going to do right now is you're going to wait right here for the phone call from Jed.
Wait, how do you know he'll call?
Because I know my brother. Do you trust me, Janet?
Yes.
Good. Now do you understand?
Wait,
Janet, listen to me and do as I say.
You wouldn't shoot me, would you, Janet?
Don't try me.
Janet, put down the gun.
Jed, sit down or else I'll blow your head off. I'm tired of people telling me what to do. You want to know why I moved away? I moved away to get away from people like you. It was always Little Miss Janet this and Little Miss Janet that, and I'm just so sick of it. It doesn't even matter because there's always going to be people around telling me what to do.
Is that what you told your father?
What?
Is that what you told your father? The night you killed him?
No.
Come on, Janet. I heard the phone calls. Your mother. She was asking if your father had arrived. You told her no. But the truth was that he did. That night you left town. The night you bought that gun you're holding in your hand. That's right, Janet. I had it checked out. Turns out it was bought out of state. Yes, it's the night you bought the gun that your father decided to follow you here.
Jed, sit down.
Melissa, please. Am I not correct, Janet?
No.
Of course. Let's say you were in this building. Let's say you started a fight. Maybe it was that sort of thing that made you want to leave in the first place. You couldn't take the abuse, could you, Janet? All those years, you thought about killing him for a while, but you never had the guts to do it. So you decided to move instead. You moved up here, but he followed you. That's right. You got to fighting. Things got violent. Wouldn't be the first time. So you ran. You ran up here. Because Melissa is always forgetting to lock the door. He followed you up here, of course. You fought for a little while. But then something clicked. And you fired the gun. Landing your father in our shower stall with the door closing behind him. And then you got scared, Janet. Little Miss Janet had never killed someone before. So you dropped the revolver and you ran downstairs.
Jed, will you sit down?
Don't you get it, Melissa? Janet wasn't trying to be a friendly neighbor the night she knocked on our door. No. She was simply a killer, returning to the scene of the crime. Who is this guy?
Jesus, Janet. What's happening?
What are you doing here?
Yeah, who is he?
It's Michael. You know Melissa, the guy I was seeing?
Oh, hi, Michael.
Wait, is that guy dead?
Yeah.
He's my grandfather.
Why are you here, Michael?
You shot me.
I'll shoot you again if you don't answer me.
This really hurts.
God damn it, Michael!
Jesus, fine, just put the gun down. Well, I just couldn't take it anymore.
What are you talking about?
Well, Janet, you're great and all, but when you told me about your grandfather, I couldn't get him out of my head.
I don't understand.
Well, I was on the rowing machine, and I was listening to Love Always Finds a Way by Neil Shaw, and that was when I realized that I'm in love with your grandfather.
Oh, yeah?
I've never been more sure of anything in my life.
Well, then there he is.
Wait.
I made up that story about my grandfather so you wouldn't think I stood you up.
And he's my grandfather.
Shut up, Melissa. I'm sorry. He's not really anyone's grandfather. He's just some guy we found in our shower. In fact, you walked in on a very interesting discussion because it's my deduction that Janet killed him.
Janet? Oh my. Is this true? I'm so confused. Yeah, this really hurts, but not as much as my heart. I should write that down. All of this, by the way, is really great material for my free verse.
Can you shoot him again?
Please don't.
You've got to be kidding me. Put the gun down, Janet. Come on, Jed, don't you see this?
What are you talking about?
Michael is obviously the killer. He's making that whole story up. He just came up here because he wanted to check on the body. He probably killed the guy for some reason and then dumped him in an apartment that he thought was abandoned. I mean, look at this place.
Excuse me?
Don't you see? He's the killer returning to the scene of the crime. He was only getting close to Janet so he would have access to the apartment and not appear suspicious.
Oh yeah? Well, maybe you're the killer.
You gotta be kidding me. I mean, look at him, Jed.
Yeah, right. Like an 11-year-old could kill a full-grown man and then store him in a shower 3 floors above his apartment.
I wouldn't put it past you.
Okay, then answer me this. Why would I store him in your shower, presuming that I'd be able to get him there in the first place?
All right. I'll answer your question with a question. Why were you hiding over there in the first place?
I want to see what was going on. It seemed exciting.
Or was it to make sure your plan went exactly how you wanted it to?
I don't know what you're talking about, Jed.
Oh, really? I bet you talked to everyone in this building, feeding them lies, making them believe things that wasn't true.
I thought you thought Janet did it.
I'm entitled to change my mind, all right? And besides, wasn't it you who gave me the idea about that phony father story?
Wait, what?
Sorry, Janet.
You know what, Henry? You're good, but you're not that good. I know what you were doing back there. You're making sure that one of us took the blame, so they wouldn't find out that you really did it.
Maybe you're the killer.
Excuse me?
Yeah, you're just trying to get enough evidence against someone so you can shift the blame on them.
Yeah!
Shut up!
Jed could be the killer. If he was, why would he be calling so much attention to it?
I don't mean to interrupt, but maybe the woman on the corpse's lap has something to hide.
What are you talking about?
I minored in psychology. She obviously has some sort of daddy issues, and possibly killing this man fulfilled some strange fantasy.
You know, that's a really good point.
Jesus, screw it! Who cares? But really though, the guy is dead. What does it matter who killed him? Let's just take Michael to the hospital.
Thank you.
Shut up, Michael. The only reason I say that is because he's dead and you're not.
But...
Come on, think about it, Jed. What use is it? He's just a pile of dead organisms wrapped inside one dead organism. Maybe he was somebody, but now he's not.
So we all decided to pile into Janet's car. She was going to drive us to the hospital. And it was the end of the month. And as you know, there are certain state troopers that have to fill certain quotas. So, as luck would have it, we get pulled over. The guy sees the man with a gunshot wound in the back seat and tells us that we have to come with him. We do. The guy, Michael, goes off to the hospital and, well, we were brought in for questioning. So, that's how we got here. Anything else?